All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Rudy's podcast. We're gonna be talking about some paranormal stories. I got my boy KHM the Don on the show again. This is chapter 2.
Chapter 2, y'all. What's happening?
Thank y'all for being here. Let us know if you can hear us and if everything sounds really good. Looks and sounds great, she said. Hell yeah. All right, all right. So yeah, we're gonna get right into the topics. All right, so paranormal stories. I have so many fucking stories, bro. For at least for me, what I'm gonna try to get into with the paranormals, I want to try to get into like some personal shit that I went through. You know what I mean? But you can go ahead and ask any questions that you have that you want to bring up for me. Like whatever story that I bring up, if you have any questions for it, just go ahead and throw it out. You know, we'll go from there, whatever.
Okay.
But so spirits. You have any questions about spirits? You have anything that you want to know, like to identify with spirits or the paranormal? Off rip. Because I got a lot of shit I could tell you.
I'm gonna say off rip. I know it's real because
Hell yeah.
I just done been through too much spiritual stuff in my life. Like
yeah, and that's the
crazy
thing.
stuff. Like my uncle passed. He came to me like in his dream before, like in one of my dreams. I mean, he came to me in one of my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew like he was even dead, and he came to me again in like the dream. Like I found out like the next day that he was dead, but like I had dreamt that he, you know what I'm saying? He was just like happy. Like he walked up to me happy as hell. Like, and then like the next day he was dead.
You don't have to be dead to see a family member come in. If they're just on the verge of death, but they're still alive, you can actually still have visions or like have them come to you. So like my dad wasn't dead when he came to me, but when I woke up, then he passed away. In the same scenario, right? I was sleeping. My dad came to me in my dream, but he was wearing all white. He had the, you know, like the zoot suit. He had the dress shirt with the nice shiny ass shoes. He had the hat, flannel, everything ironed up, crispy. And then he came up to me. He was like, "Mijo, I love you, but I gotta let you know I'm gonna leave." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean leave?" And he's like, my stomach," or he said, "My internals are not doing good. Like my stomach isn't doing good. They're giving up." And I'm like, "What?" And I used to always talk shit to my dad, like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. You always be talking that shit, but it never happens. Like he would never die. In my mind, he would never die." And then he changed. His whole demeanor changed, and he's like, "I just want you to know this. I love you. Thank you for being there for me. So much has changed since we got together, whatever." And I remember I hugged him, and I could smell his fucking aftershave. Like he would use that aftershave. You could smell it. And then I woke up, and I was crying in my sleep. My wife stops me, like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Man, I had a dream with my dad." It was like around 10 in the morning. I get a call, and they're like, "This is Rudy, whatever, and we just want to let you know your father had passed away," because I was power of attorney. And I'm like, I was so fucking confused, bro, because I'm so used to dealing with experiencing dead, but when it happens to you, like with your family members and shit,
yeah, it's chaos.
Yeah, kind of gets to you.
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of ripping and running, trying to figure stuff out and stuff.
Hell yeah,
yeah.
Well, so if we were to take it back, right? When was the first experience you've ever had with spirits?
My first experience was when I was real young in Texas. That we down south, or when I got older, they called it like sleep paralysis or something. But down south, they say like a spirit is on you when you just wake up and you can't like talk or move or any of that stuff. They say like a demon is like on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was crazy because I remember like my grandma and them used to like tell us that And like I think I want to say I recall seeing like my older brother even like telling like it happened to him type shit, and she was like, oh, like it was like happening to the kids type shit, and it was like a normal thing type shit.
Yeah.
And I like it was that's kind of weird to say, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
But
could
it was like like, it was
only
like that.
to the kids though.
It was like that's what the like our elders was telling us. That's what we call that
Yeah.
particular situation. You know what I'm saying? So it was like couldn't talk. Like I was woke, but couldn't talk. Couldn't you know what I'm saying? Scream. Couldn't move. But when I got older, I was like, oh, that was just sleep paralysis.
See,
Because you know what I'm saying? What everybody with science and everything had,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, installed into my head. So
See, I think the paralysis shit. Like, I do believe in the science, the psychology of paralysis. Like, I do believe that can take an effect, right? But I'm a big believer on the other side too. So, like,
yeah,
I do understand that, like, besides paralysis, despite the emotional background that you've lived, that can affect you. But I've had that same thing happen to me multiple times, bro. Like, I had literally, I don't know if I want to get into it yet, but I can get into it in a minute because I want to hear your story personally about what happened. But I honestly want to finish it with that because it was pretty intense and it feels real. Like, you can't move.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, I've been through it tons of times, bro.
Yeah, so like, but down south, like I don't know who made it up. Like just the Southern people or Creole people, they say it's a like a demon riding you, like a ghost riding you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like them just trying to get into you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes God keep your spirit strong enough to still fight off shit out like that out of adolescence, like not even knowing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You know, that's a good point you brought up, God, because like that's exactly what happened to me when. So again, for everybody that's watching, and again, what's up, Brian? Um, when I was living in the house, I lived in a house that was, I don't know what you call it. What do you call those, bro? Where they go to the viewing when
Like a wake.
yeah, but like, what do you call those buildings though? Like, isn't there a specific name for that instead of being like a funeral home? Like
That's what I've always
funeral home, right?
funeral home.
So yeah, like when we moved into our home, it was considered a funeral home, and like literally, if you walk inside, bro, like we were in some skimpy ass house. My pops, my foster pops that had he was making good money. He was fixing computers and shit. Back in the days, like that was a pretty good job.
Hell yeah.
And I remember like right after we got adopted, he wanted to get a bigger house because he had all the girls. He had like 4 girls, bro, and then he adopted us 3 boys. Like that's a lot of kids. So he took that money and bought the house next door across the street from like Milan Street in Grand River. You know Grand River and Milan, yep, Milan Street. So like if you go right down, you'll see the biggest house on the left side. That was that was a funeral home. But
Yes.
they moved that bitch there. So when we moved in, so like so he bought the house, we moved in, and then come to find out they were doing seances in the house.
That's a big thing, and I'm gonna tell you like this: when I was in like 7th, 8th grade, just hanging with different people, like we would just like go up in like buildings and shit like around Lansing that was like, you know what I'm saying, like just abandoned, like already open, and like, you know what I'm saying, I'm talking about like old like buildings, like parking ramps and shit that ain't been touched in years. Like we just go in that type of shit and just walk around and shit, and you know what I'm saying, smoke a little bud and shit. But we would sit, you know how like often like you would see that type of shit in there laying around, like candles and like
yeah, buddy,
symbols and stuff like that.
That shit always catches me. Like, why
So
do
I was
people?
like, that's crazy. Like that's they barking up the wrong tree.
For real, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I never, for all the years that I've experienced paranormal, I've never got curious enough to where I would want to summon anything.
Hell no.
You know?
Fuck no.
Fuck that. But I will say this. When I moved in that house, for me, so my experiences in the paranormal starts from when I was born. So it's like pretty much every day for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even just 2 weeks ago, I had another experience. That'd be for another chapter though. But it was when spirit is around me, they'll show them as you, like physical, color, clothes, all
Yeah.
that. But this experience that I had was like new as shit. I could feel their hands, but then there's nobody there. It was weird, bro. We'll talk about that another time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had this this gift, and moving into this home, not knowing that it was, had a lot of spirits in the house. It really fucked with me because like a girl died of cancer.
Yeah.
And there used to be, so she would come down the stairs and she'll peep out and then like call your name. Then one time my brother-in-law, Big Tony, right when my mom bought the house, she says, Rudy, it was me, Tony Jr., Ray, and I can't remember who else. She's like, for the first night, y'all go stay in the house and see how it feels. So we slept in the living room. Bro, I wish I could show you this house because it looked just like that old school joint, French wood, French doors. Like the wood is real beautiful. It's creepy as shit.
It's probably like one of them old like Victorian homes or something like that.
Yeah, all the doors take the skulls.
Like, got a lot of
especially north side.
Yeah, Victorian style homes.
Mm-hmm. But like, just the starting of moving in, bro. Like I just had so many different experiences. We used to see two glowing eyes in the dining room. That's where the viewing was, where the people were sitting, like they would put the body there. We'll see two glowing eyes.
Wow.
Then you'll see
like y'all was just sitting there, like bro, in the dark or watching TV or something, or
no. So like me, so I was sleeping. We had the blanket on the floor. Mm-hmm. Big Tony was like, it was me, Junior, Big Tony. And then we're all sleeping, watching TV. We're watching
they all seen it with you type shit.
Big Tony did. They were sleeping. Yeah. So Big Tony says, Rudy. And I look at him, like, what's up? He was already scaring me because just the way he sounds, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, look over there. Do you see that? Am I tripping? And I look, bro, two glowing eyes. I'm like, fuck. I got scared, but he was like, we can't. Okay, the door. Okay, so like, imagine this. You're laying in the dining room. You're laying in the living room. But the door is close, like literally 3 feet from where the eyes were.
Yeah.
We didn't want to run out there. So we just stayed close, left it alone. We told Mama the next day, like, hey, Mom, we know that there's ghosts in the house.
So how does she feel? Like what, like?
You know, it's funny because she was the type of woman who liked playing with tarot cards. So I don't think she minded, but I don't think she understood like the intensity
of like how it was coming.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff happening in that house. Like, I mean, part of the book that I'm going to write about the paranormal has to do with majority of being in that house. Just the amount of stuff that happened there.
Man.
But yeah. Did you have some shit like that happen to you before?
Yeah, I had a house, man, that was right by Park Zoo in Lansing. And it like, I'll say like, at the time when I moved there, it wasn't nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was nothing going on. And then I just remember it all started like one day. I forget what happened. Like one day, I think it was I want to say it was my ex's sister. She came to stay with us for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She kind of swung the other way. Her and her old lady got to it. She needed a place to, you know what I mean? So we was like, yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying? You good? You working and everything? Come on. She ended up seeing like shadows like walk from like the dining room to like the kitchen. So we thought she was just tripping and shit. Like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, you know? Like, but apparently, like after that point, like everybody started like witnessing like certain shit in the house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying she brought the bad spirits, but like I want to say like that was the first thing that really like popped off. And then it was like my little brother and his girlfriend came and like we was drinking, had a bonfire and shit, barbecue and just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? On the one weekend, and he got a little buzz, him and his old lady, so they stayed the night. And we woke up the next morning. They said they seen the same shit, like shadows, like walking back and forth. You know what I mean? So we were like, okay, now this is like not only like 2 people. This is 4 people that's stating this shit now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, like, so, and then it didn't happen to me until one day I was playing. This is like 2013. I was playing 2K with the homies. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget it. It was Scooter and his brother E over the house. We was playing, and I think it was my little brother. I want to say my little brother was there too, and we was playing 2K. And I went in the kitchen, or somebody came out the kitchen with some shit, just like some little bullshit snacks or whatever. I'm like, damn, like, yeah, you ain't grab me nothing. All right, I see how it is. I go, you know how you talk shit. I go around the corner and shit. I get me some shit. Dog, like, man, grab me one of them. I'm grabbing shit. I got a handful of shit, right? I'm like, got shit, like, holding shit with my chin, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I closed the cabinets. And then I'm like, damn, I forgot because I had some fruit snacks up there. I love fruit snacks. I turn around, I'm like, oh man, I forgot my fruit snack. I turn around and the cabinets is wide the fuck open. So like that was the first time like it like played a trick on me. And I was like, nah. But then it was that, did I do that? Did I leave that open? You know what I'm saying? Did I do that? Did I, you know what I mean? And like just little shit like that started happening in the house to me at first. Like when I used to get in the shower, I used to always like, cause I had this big walk-in closet and I hit the light and like we had all our shit hanging up and all our shoes and shit on the top and shit, and like everything. And I'll leave that light on because like it was so bright, it'll light up the whole room damn near. So I'll leave that on. When I got out the shower, I come in there and sit at the foot of the bed and get dressed for what, you know what I'm saying? But this particular time, the light was still on, but the door was shut. And I'm like, it's a solid door. Like it's been staying open like this since I moved. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so just like simple shit like that started happening first. You know what I'm saying? And then it got to the point where it just got worse. Like,
yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Over time, like it just got way worse.
During that time when you was going, like, let's just put it with all the stuff that was going on then, when you started seeing the shadows.
I never seen the shadows.
Oh, you never? But
not me personally. Yeah.
But the weird shit that was going on in the house, like right, like was there a lot of arguing before or after, or like parent fighting or bad shit going on in the house? Like
I would say that though, like it was like, cause like it was like at the time, like me and my old lady was getting into it at the time. Like it was a lot of stuff. I remember me and my big brother fist fought a couple times over there. Like we got into it over there. We really tore the house up. Like,
yeah, that's a pattern. When you start seeing, like, when people start seeing,
it was like a lot of bullshit going on in that house. Like, yeah, we was always fighting and arguing and shit. Yeah,
hell yeah, that's something to pay attention to. Like once you start having shit like that, like if you notice, for like, I get it psychologically, there's things that you're gonna be fighting about that can be reasonable, but there's some things, bro, where it's like, all right, everybody's fighting.
Why all this shit, this negative shit happening here?
Yeah, you go home, you just depressed for no fucking reason.
Yes.
That shit is a draw with those shadow people. Like anytime you have them around, that's just bound to happen.
See, but look though, like it got to the point where like it was just like everything was like gloomy, but it was still like the house is dark. But that's the situation. When I lived there, that situation made me realize, like, you know what I'm saying, when I step into certain buildings and shit like that, like I know, you know what I'm saying, off the top there's something there because of the energy there. Yeah, that's what that house really made me realize. You know what I'm saying?
I used to see them all the time, bro.
Yeah.
From when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm listening all the time. I think after I witnessed so me and Ray witnessed somebody get chopped up, you know, whatever, like some crazy shit. We noticed that activity in our lives were different. Like I get it mentally, but like spiritually, shit was not right. Like I remember to the day, man, I remember like,
hell no, that type of shit, like, not to cut you off, but that opens up a whole nother realm.
Yeah, bro.
In your brain, like, you know what I'm saying?
I used to
go ahead, yeah,
no, you good. Like I used to lay down and I would see a guy standing up, maybe about 6 feet tall, shadow person, right? I'll watch him walk to the one end of the room. He'll walk close to the bed. Then on some weird shit, all of a sudden I see the shadow move and then come right back down. And I see this. It's like it's already dark, but you see the shape of a person. And I'm like, damn. Shit didn't get worse for me with the shadow shit until I challenged it. Because like my brother lived in the attic of the house I was just telling you about. And so like my mom, 2 a.m, we hear like footsteps, heavy ass feet, going across the room. So she and my brother, he ain't that boy little. He's always been little. He's just a small, petite guy. And my mom, like he was sleeping up there. My mom says, Rudy, come here. So I'm like, dude, I gotta go to school tomorrow, right? And she's like, can you hear that? And I'm like, what do you want me to hear? And she's playing with her cards, by the way. Her cards are already on the bed, bro. I'm telling you. And she's like, listen. And all of a sudden I hear doom 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 doom.
No.
Bro, I looked at my mom, I'm like, Mom, why don't you go up there and get Simone? That's my brother Simone.
Simone.
And she's like, I'm not going up there. And immediately, bro, like fight or flight. Like I just went through this. Like that's my brother. Like I don't care what's going on. I gotta be there for him. So I remember walking up the stairs. I stand right next to where, like it's weird. I wish I can explain it to you. Like you walk in, like you know how like there's those stairs where there's steep stairs. It's a square cut in, and then you have to like get over just to be able to walk on the. You know what I mean? So I get up there and I couldn't find the light. It's so fucking dark, but I feel like there's someone around me. I don't hear no more footsteps.
Yeah, but you can feel that shit.
But you can feel it. And I just said out loud, you better not fuck with my brother. You know, I have God on my side. And then I'm feeling around. I found the light. I hurp and turn that bitch on. I see my brother sleeping. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm tripping, bro. I'm tripping. So I turned the light off and I said, I'm going to go sleep on, because he had like a little sofa. Like he had his bed and a little sofa over there. So I'm like, I'm going to go lay over there. So I slept right on that couch. And I'm sleeping. And it was quiet. Nothing happened. But then, all of a sudden, I woke up and like I couldn't move. And it felt like somebody was on my hips, like pressure.
Like on you. They on me. They be on you. Yeah.
Then I felt someone choking me. I felt tight hands around my neck. And then I kept on hearing they're saying something to me. But they're saying in another language. So like my family are, you know, they're Chicanos, so they speak, you know, Tex-Mex Spanish. It wasn't like Spanish, bro. Like it was
probably like some Latin shit. Like
probably some Latin shit, bro. Ooh. I kept on hearing it, and it was ground.
That hair on my arm, standing up, y'all, on my arm right there.
And I'm hearing it say something to my ear. I could feel the wind, like of it talking to me in this ear. I got so scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought for a second I almost pissed myself, but I stopped and I remember saying to myself, bro, because I'm always from day one I've been a godly kid. Like even through all the struggles, I always felt like, you know, God put me here for a mission. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I just felt like I've always had that purpose, that calling. So I said these three words. I said, I am God's child. You cannot harm me. I am God's child. You cannot harm me. That third time before I said it, man, it got so bad on my neck that I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah, whatever. What? Yeah.
I said it one more time. It came off. Like literally, I can see, but I can't speak. I want to move, but I can't move. It was like I started building anxiety. My anxiety started kicking in.
Yeah.
So finally, when I break through, I get up. I'm looking around like, what the fuck? I tell my brother, come on, let's go downstairs. So I take him downstairs and he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, why? He's like, well, before you woke me up, you were walking in my room. And he said that I stood up and I walked towards the window, and for a half an hour I'm staring out the window. And I'm thinking, man, what if I got possessed, bro? Like, that shit's wild. Now, I've had that happen before where if a spirit tries to enter you, I've had that happen before, like a couple of times. But I won't accept that shit. Like, there's channelers that will do, like people that do channeling, they will allow a spirit to come to do stuff like that. But I'm not into that.
Playing a dangerous game.
But I feel like if you're going to communicate with spirit, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You know, there's some famous people that will do it that way. But that was one of my most intense time with a shadow person in that circumstance. It was tough, bro. It was real tough.
Yeah, that shit deep, man. That shit definitely deep. Like it started, like I said, when I was over there, it started getting worse. In the house we was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And craziest shit that happened, like what kickstarted a lot of it, like I remember it was my niece, Jaden, and it was like a kid. I want to say it was like my neighbor's daughter. They were all over playing in the yard, and like my youngest, they pounded on the back door, pounded on the back door. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Screaming though, like something. I'm thinking somebody that got stung by a bee or something. You know what I'm saying? Because the yard is pretty much fenced in. Like they just chilling. You know what I mean? They had a little play set back there. Or I'm thinking somebody done fell off the slide. Something crazy done happened. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, like they said, they seen a lady in the shed.
Oh damn!
In the old shed, like behind like the stained glass. They said they was trying to get in because it was locked, and then like a lady like peeked her head at the glass.
Oh man!
And then they backed up. They thought somebody was in there playing, so they backed up and then looked in there, and she was still standing there looking at them. So they screamed, crying. My niece was crying tears. Like, and at this time, she was like, she had to be at least like 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
So she know every bit of what she's seeing. You know what I'm saying, at that age, to where she was crying tears. Like, oh my God, like there's a lady in the shed. Mm-hmm. It got to the point where like me and my father-in-law at the time went outside. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, looked in there and shit. Like, opened it up and shit. Like, ain't nothing in there. You know what I'm saying?
So the shed. So it was a shed, right?
It was like a shed that was like a little house almost, like a small little.
Did it have like a second?
No, it didn't have no shit like
all
that.
One floor.
Yeah. Gotcha. It wasn't like the size of a garage. It was like the size of like a decent little tin shed.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. Like, matter of fact, it was a tin shed next to it, but it was just like a regular little shed.
It had a window, you said?
Might have had windows and a door on it, and a stained glass window in the door. That's where they said they seen her. They saw the lady.
And you know, kids are pure.
And you know, they pure. So, they was out there playing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we seen the lady. I'm like, what the hell?
Man.
So then, yeah, it was tons of stuff. Like, it got physical with me. Like, one time I was laying in my bed. I just got out the shower. I remember I just worked a double shift that day. Came home, got in the shower, and I just laid down. And, you know what I mean? I cut a show on, but I started dozing off. You know what I'm saying? I think I was watching some bullshit like Michael Knight or some weird classic shit. And I started dozing off. And the motherfucker sat in the bed with me, right with me. Damn. And I felt the bed like, and I looked around. I thought it was my old lady at the time. You know what I'm saying? I looked around, wasn't nobody there. And like, I was just turned on my side and like turned my back to it like I was about to go back to sleep. And it dawned on me. I was like, dog, somebody just sat in the bed with me. Man. Like, I'm not talking about like, no, like, you know, like the mattress sinks down a little bit, like the classic. Like, no, I'm talking about a motherfucker.
Yeah, you felt the whole fucking bed move.
Plopped in that bitch. I want to say even the pillows on that side of the bed probably moved a little bit. Like, plopped in that bitch like, you know, like somebody really got in the bed. And I was like, you know, I was tripping. I was tossing and turning because it was like in the middle of the night, but the TV and shit was still going. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, somebody just jumped in the bed with me. Man. I grabbed the mattress and literally just threw myself off the bed, took off running out that bitch, hit the hallway light, ran down the stairs and shit like, what the fuck? So that was the first time something happened to me.
Man, oh man.
And this was like an early nap. Like I was like this was like, it was summertime. Like it was still daylight outside type shit.
You know, talking about that lady that you seen. So like,
or the kids that the kids saw.
The kids seen, yeah. So like,
they said it looked like an old lady.
My thing is like, I asked. So I used to pray to God all the time as a kid because I had a lady do that to me too. But the way she did it with me was, I was laying in my room and I'll see this Caucasian lady just walking in the room, walk right past my bed and go right to the window, and then she'll turn around and look at us. She did the same shit almost every night. And then I'll get up and I'll run to my mom's room. And this was when we lived in Texas. And my mom and dad, they didn't fuck around. Like, bro, they didn't fuck around with having the kids in the room. Like, they'll beat your ass, kick you on the floor, get the fuck out type shit, right? So I'm like, damn. And my mom, it was my dad that kicked me on the floor, and I hit the floor, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go back in the room. He's like, take your ass back in the room. So I was like, all right, I go back in the room. I still see her standing there and looking out the window. And every time she did this, bro, she would open the window and shut it. Open the window and then shut it. And then I prayed to God. And I remember asking God, I'm like,
you just really seeing it? You the only kid seeing it?
no, racing it too.
What?
Racing it too. Yeah. It's fucking
That's
nuts.
but like that's what's crazy though. Not to cut you off, like I've had situations where 2-3 people seeing this shit at the same time.
Yeah. See,
so that's how I know spirits are real, because
I mean,
it was situations where I've been in where 2-3 people that was in the same room with me like all witnessed this shit.
Yeah, I definitely don't question if it's real or not. I think for the people that do question it, it's just because they haven't had an experience. Yeah. And they need to experience it, but then they're not into it. Like they're not gonna like push themselves.
That's what I think. That's what I tell them too. I'll be like, every time somebody say that shit, I'll be like, man, be careful what you wish for, because that shit is real, bro. Like I done seen it.
Yo.
Like it's crazy. Like the second time I seen one, I was working at a bar and shit in town, and it's called the Dispatch Bar Grill. It burnt down now and shit. Yep. Man, shout out to them though. I had so much fun there and shit. It was fun.
That shit was haunted?
It was haunted, dog.
Oh man.
Like we had actual footage. Like we had footage of like the kitchen appliances cutting on by himself, like the pizza machine cutting on and running by itself.
What?
We had footage of one of the it was the owner's sister, like pouring drinks, like turned like facing towards all the bottles, and then it was like, I can't recall if it was a glass or a bottle. It came out and it just sat in the air for like a second and a half, and then it just dropped and broke everywhere.
Damn.
Yeah,
I've had some shit like that happen. That's fucking nuts.
My experience in the building was this lady named Lauren. Shout out to Lauren. She was like she's a key holder for sure. She's a bartender there. She used to open and everything. I pull up or whatever, and then it'd be me and my boy Marcus. We was running that shit in the back and everything, getting it in, dog. Way back in the day. But anyway, she was the opening bartender or whatever, and like me and her would like just clean the whole building before like we opened the bar. Mm-hmm. And I'll help her bar back, make sure she got all her glasses and shit from the night before. Her, you know what I'm saying, all her ice and beer and shit full. So at this particular time, I just get it like, it was a place called, it was like the pool room and shit. I organized all of that shit, and then I came back downstairs. I went and grabbed some towels, and I was like, well, she was like, are you gonna go wipe the stuff down in Lonigan's for me or whatever? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, because when I was walking back getting the towels, I looked over and I thought I seen my homeboy Gilbert. He looked just like Gilbert, but like, I was like, damn, Gilbert looking rough. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I get in the kitchen, she was like, I thought you were gonna do Lonigan's or whatever. I just walked past it. Like, still some shit back there and shit. I was like, oh, just tell Gilbert to get it. He got it. I made some water. It's already right there. I'm finna start the soups and shit. Man. And she was like, I remember she just came back like, not even like 3 minutes later. Cause I'm assuming she walked around the whole bar looking for him. Yeah. And she was like, bro, Gilbert is not here. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, Gilbert is not here. Literally, I think she called him. She called him and put him on speaker. I'm like, bro, like, I swear I just seen you. And then come to find out, like when the owner and his sister got there, we told them about what I saw. They tried to rewind the cameras. It wasn't none on the cameras, but it didn't show up on the cameras. Yeah. But they tried to tell me the old owner killed himself of the building, killed himself on the train tracks. Right behind the building.
Wait, hold on. Did he talking about that? When did he have money on him? Did they say anything about he had money on him?
I don't recall that, but I know.
Why did he kill himself?
I don't know. Like he used to own the Dispatch before the owners, the last owners.
Yeah, Dispatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that's nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy. So They were pretty much telling me, like Norville and Kim, you know what I'm saying, was pretty much telling me that I saw the owner.
Damn, bro.
Because he had big, like curly, like brown, like not curly, but like dark brown brunette hair and a beard, a big old barley beard. You know what I'm saying?
See, spirit will show themselves. Like if they don't want to show themselves, they won't.
And he's just kind of just like nonchalant, like not even paying attention to me, walking the same direction I'm walking, but way across the building.
Man,
he was just walking like he was just waking up too. Like, cause we just got there, opened the building. So it's like we walking around like we just waking up, yawning and shit, still doing our job. But it's like I look across the room, so I'm thinking it's the homie Gilbert, my coworker. Damn. And really, it was he wasn't even there, bro. Like,
so how'd you feel when you? So that
was we just went to work like nothing happened. But that was especially when everybody started rolling, all our other coworkers started rolling in through the door. We started telling them about it, but me and Lauren were freaked out about that shit. Yeah. That was crazy as hell. Like that was like one of the most craziest one, I would say. Sure. I seen a dead man walking for real.
Yeah. Hands down you did. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Well, see,
and I looked him up and down. Like I looked at him for about 2-3 seconds.
So he stopped when he was
walking? We was both walking. Cause this is like Lonigan's in the, like you was walking, I don't know if you've ever been, but you walk in and there's a bar.
Oh, you good. I thought it turned you off. My bad.
Oh, you good. You walk in and there's like a bar to your your immediate left hand side.
Yo.
And then like there's a spot called Lonigan's where you can, like, it's like back off in the back part.
Yeah.
It has like 2 sections of doors. I seen him like when I was walking like alongside the bar. He was like we were both like walking.
He said he looked rough
in the doorway, but he was like more sort of like towards the way back, like by the walls and shit. It was crazy,
man, dude.
I seen him clear as day.
So obviously,
I even walked around when she told me Gilbert ain't here. I'm like, yeah, right. I ain't believe it. When she told me she couldn't find him, I walked outside. I'm like, his car ain't here. Walked around the entire building like 3 times looking for him.
Man, yeah. See, from what I was trying to say, like why spirits stay here. I used to ask God, like, God, why? Like, why? What's the point? Because like you have bad people, you have good people. If these people were good people, why didn't they cross over? You know what I mean?
That'd be them people that like certain shit put them in purgatory and they be floating in between.
Yep, and that's the best way to put it, I guess. Because like for me, the way
they shit is unsolved. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why they still in purgatory, or there was a bad person and they like was still left like in the middle.
Yeah, because I had
and they just choose the torment, and you know what I'm saying, for their satisfaction, I guess. But,
yeah, there is bad people. Yeah. I think for mines that I had something like that happened to me. I've had tons of them, man, but like one that was really, really catchy. It would have to be in the gym. So I started training. I've always been training, but like I think it was 19, 20 is when I really got heavy into fighting. And I met Leroy. You know Leroy, right? Ortega?
I have to see him.
Off right next to K&M. I forgot the road. You know K&M
High Street?
No, right after. I forgot
New York?
No, not New York.
Porter?
No, hold on. It's
Ballard?
Ballard. Ballard. Yep. So you know how like when you go down there to get the fence right there, and then on the left side, he's like in that area. He had a gym on the south side. So I started working out with him. I was fat, bro. I was fat as shit. Like I was lazy as fat as shit. But I wanted to change my life around because my mindset was in the right place. So I started working out with him. And he really changed my life. Like just the way he trained me. So I remember he has this drill and he'll have us all run around, push-ups, squats, do all this shit. And then we have to do pull-ups. And there's this one part where there's these pull-ups and you pull yourself up. And then there's like an entrance like to the attic. And that door is always open. Like it was always open. So I pulled myself up and I'm like, all right, 1, 2, and we're going. And I look, bro, when I get up, I swear to God, I seen somebody up there. So I told Leroy, I was like, hey, is this place haunted? Because I swore I seen somebody up in the attic. And he's like, I thought I seen it too. So we left it as that. Then I had to go, because I like to be like, I was one of those students where if I'm training, I don't leave my stuff on the floor. You know, so like I'll help him mop. We'll spray everything down. You know, I always stayed back a little, like 20 minutes after, just to help him clean up. And he's in the office, and I'm mopping the floor, and then I went in the office to talk to him about like where he wanted to put some shit away or whatever, and we hear, what the fuck was that? And we look, because in the office there's a big window.
That happened to me in my big mama house. Somebody was clapping at me.
Well, check it. The clapping was somebody hitting the bag. The bag was doing this, bro. And I'm telling you, it did not stop. And then we'll stop it. Like, we literally will stop it. It stays still. We go back in the office to watch. And then all of a sudden,
pop.
Yep. It just started fucking moving. So, like, I remember we left that bitch so fucking quick. But it's always been haunted. Like,
which one you go to, the old Y or something?
You remember Gaio? When Gaio used to be out on Cedar, right next to Michigan Works? Remember that spot? It used to be a gym, and then now it's like Don Pancho's and shit. Yep. But that used to be our gym. Man, that bitch is hella haunted. I don't know how the motherfuckers be cooking food up in that bitch.
Damn. They turned it into a good place, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
They put a lot of a lot of light in there.
They sell jewelry.
Yeah, it was nice to see. It was a nice sight. Some good food there too.
Good food. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, you know, again, from my experience, the shit that those type of things, they're pretty normal, because, like, you know, trying to understand and comprehend why is this going on, it was always tough, like, because there's no one there to tell you, and there's no book behind it. There's no scientific, you know, like, hey, this is the reason why that happened. What I've learned is a lot of time when that shit happens, especially like if you're seeing shadows, anytime, I don't care what anybody say, anytime you see shadows, something bound to happen. Like, something is about to happen, pretty much. Because, like, I hear tons of different mediums talk about shadows are not human, but they're not demonic. So I'm like, well, scratching my fucking head, like, what are they then? Like, if they're like demonic, but they're not demonic, they can hurt you, they can move things. That's bad. To me, that's bad. And remember what I was telling you about the room when I was a kid? Like, that shit took me off guard. And that's when I realized, like, you have to be careful what you say. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to be careful what you say, because that shit can really fuck with you. Hey, what's up, King Barney?
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I'm gonna tell you another story, if you don't mind me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to tell you another story that I went through. I was you know, Rotunda. Rotunda.
Oh, Rotunda.
Yeah.
You a fool, yeah.
I
know you're talking about, yeah.
I used to work, like work. You know what I mean? I used to make money. And I'm like, I need to sit down for a little bit and try to make some money with that area. So I knew the maintenance man. So I worked some deals out with him. I'm like, hey, bro, you know this place better than I do. So we talked it out. Boom, boom. I found a place. Bro, I didn't even need, fuck the credit. Bro, they just took me in. The minute I walked in, she says it's going to be $400 a month. I moved in the next day.
Man, damn.
Man. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, this is going to be dope. I got this. I got everything set up. I'm going to make my bread, whatever. The first fucking night, I remember what did I do? I bought some chairs because I didn't have no furniture. And I'm like, I got to set this up really quick. So I got a couple chairs, got a TV, got a fan, and that's about it. Some soap, toothpaste, whatever, because I'm not always going to be there. It's going to be sporadic. So that night I sat down and I was watching TV because I got to let everybody know that this is my house now. So I'm sitting around for a little bit. And then I'm watching TV and I'm like, I swear to God, bro, I seen a shadow person walk into the bathroom. Like I seen physically someone walk. I look.
Yeah, that shit. I'm gonna say it like this. I ain't gonna try. I'm not trying to cut you off. I know you about to go into this one, but I feel like once you encounter them for the first time, it just opens up another part of your brain, and you really just, it don't matter where you really at. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta live and let go at that point. Cause you gonna see them.
Hell yeah.
But all the time I see some shit out the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My eye type shit.
Man, it didn't stop there, bro. Like my son was 3 years old.
So you said they walked in the bathroom and did what then? Or
So
you?
like yeah, so like right after that, I had my son. So like I finally got everything set up in the house. Um, and then I had my son over just before I even filled it up. Like I didn't even what I mean, but I had my son for visitations. So I picked my son up, and I had my little boy. I was in the living room, and my son starts to walk down to the hallway. So like if you know how like trailers are long, so you got living room, the kitchen is together.
Yeah.
Then there's like the bathroom, and then there's another bedroom. So he's walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
As he's walking down, I look and I call him like, AJ, come here. And all of a sudden, because the doors didn't open like this, at least that door didn't. That door slid back and forth. You know what I mean? So the door, I always kept it shut. It was empty anyway, so I kept it shut. As he's walking towards the bathroom, that bitch starts doing this, bro. Oh God, bro! I picked my son up. I said, "Come on." I called his mom, and she came up to swoop him back up. I like, pick him up real quick because I didn't really realize my house was haunted, bro. I just figured, you know what I mean. But I don't want my son around that shit. That's really what like that was the pinpoint of like shit's about to go down in this house.
Yeah.
It got worse and worse. I stayed there for 8 months. It got me out of situations, but it was like probably the most depressed place that I lived in.
Yeah, I believe that shit, bro. That shit is different.
But check this. After I think week 2, week 3, I was hearing growling. Bro, listen, I'm hearing growling in the house. So I finally got my bed set up. I'm laying back and I hear, oh, bro, like in the fucking room. I had my AK underneath, right? So I popped that bitch thinking somebody outside or somebody trying to play with me, right? So I look out the window, I don't see nothing, bro. I walk outside. I'm ready for whatever at this point. I walk outside, I don't see nobody, bro. Nobody. Man. I come in the house. I'm kind of like starstruck now. I'm like, not starstruck, but struck. Like, what just happened?
Distraught, yeah, hell yeah.
I sit back down, and then again, I hear growling. So I've been to like again. It didn't alarm me to the point where I felt like I had to run because I've been through this before. But it's like there was levels to everything that happened to me. There was levels to it, so it got worse.
Yeah.
So that night, I'm like, all right, I'm going to Myers. So I go to Myers. You know, back in the day, you can buy a candle with the Jesus cross, with the Virgin Mary. Or
Yeah, they had
Walmart.
it was just certain sections they was always in. Then it'd be like sage and all that shit right there with it.
And I got the candle.
Why else would Myers have that? Why else would Myers have that in there like that if it wasn't real? If spirits wasn't real,
man, bro.
They got a whole section where you can get sage, incense, and motherfucking candles.
It's either that or because they have the Latin.
That shit is real, bro.
Listen, so I get the candle and I remember going in the room and I had this shirt with Jesus Christ. So I just set it down, I nailed it, and then I put my candle there and I did a prayer. Normally, I was raised up Catholic. So I do the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I do the Archangel Michael prayer, Our Father, I do the whole thing. Boom, boom, boom. I'm speeding this story up really quick. After that, let's just say everything in the house went south. I was sleeping and all I hear is
he just tormenting at this point. He tormenting
my doors,
slamming and shit.
Boom, 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 boom. My front door,
because he like y'all not running from me.
Man, listen, my neighbor come running over like, why the fuck you slamming your doors? I said, I'm not. Do you see me touching the damn door? Once that front door slammed, bah, they're out. So what I did was, I was afraid. At first, I was afraid. I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I just hurried up and put some screws, and then I slammed the door shut. Like, the minute I started getting active, everything stopped. I shut the door. I lock it. Like, I put a screw, and then I did this, right? And then I go back in the room, and then, bro, it just tore it right off. Boom. So I'm tripping. Now I'm like, man. And there was this little young buck who used to always run around. He was a badass kid in the neighborhood, right? I used to pay him like $20 every week. And I'm like, listen, if you take my trash, dump it in the dumpster, because I don't like to go in the back. Like, I don't want people to see me. So I'm like, just dump my shit. I got you. I got some money for you, whatever. But when it's done, meet me up here when I'm out of work. Well, I seen my trash wasn't taken. And I'm like, man, where's little dog at? And I see him. I'm like, hey, come here. What's up, man? Like, what's going on? And he's like, man, bro, I got scared. I'm like, what do you mean you got scared? He's like, well, I went to go get your trash and I seen a dark shadow, real tall, dark shadow sitting in the back of your, cause you know how like some fronts of the trailer have like a little patio, but in the back just has the steps and then the door.
Mm-hmm.
So he seen somebody sitting down, but it was all shadow and he didn't want it to see him. So he like backed out. He was like, I was just too scared. So he's like, but you got something at your house. Like I seen a dark shadow. So that's when because even though I was, in that zone and wanting to make money, I was still like, I've been through this stuff before and I know how to clean houses and I know how to do all that.
Yeah.
So I call my mentor. She's a college reverend. She's a Catholic college reverend and she's a medium.
Mm-hmm.
So I call her and she says, bless the house. Just clean it. So I said, okay. And normally how we do it is we start with the front door, you go counterclockwise. Name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You throw the sage, holy water. You do your whole thing. You pray through the whole house, door, closets, whatever. You pray. You go all the way around till you hit to the very back to the same door again. End it. Cast everything out. Whatever. Normal cleaning. Everything got quiet. Like dead ass quiet. It felt good, bro. It just felt so good.
Yeah.
And then,
go ahead.
And then Ray wanted to come spend the night. So I'm like, come through. Man, bro, it didn't end. Like it didn't stop. All of a sudden, we hear it felt like somebody punched the side of the trailer, but that bitch rocked. And I remember I was standing up, looking at Ray, and we were talking about. I think we were talking about my dad, and I'm like, man, I remember saying something like, bro, what's dad doing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, the fucking trailer moved. And Ray's bought it all day. So the minute
he ready to squab,
the minute like that shit happened, he's like, let's go. So he runs.
He stormed out the door type shit.
Yeah. He goes out the door to the left. I go to the right. And as I'm going, Ray already fucking ran like a fucking ninja, bro. Like over here at the very end, as I get to the very end of the other side, I see this shadow. I'm not shitting you, like 8 feet tall, bro. Tall, fucking long arm shadow. And then I tell Ray, stop, because I see this dark ass shadow. And then my instincts were to go run towards it because Ray's about to go this way. And I slowly, the best example, when you blow smoke and you know how the air, when it mixes up with air, slowly disappears?
Yeah.
That's slowly exactly, the dark just slowly evaporated. And then I'm like, oh my, like I swore I seen what I seen. So I told Ray,
Ray ain't see it.
He didn't see it.
That's crazy.
So I had him come inside. He had the experience in the house though. Mm-hmm. And when he was in the house, we go back in the house. Now we keep on hearing somebody walking on top of the roof, but there's nobody on the roof. So Ray was like, all right, I'm out of here. Whatever. He's gone.
He don't even stay the day he want to come over. He like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
There's too many weird shit going on.
That's some bullshit.
And then
so he just left you in there.
But see, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave because I was already making money, and I was trying to get myself into another situation. So like my plan was to just stay here for at least 8 months.
Anyway, you're just grinding, yeah.
Yep. So I get through that. And during these times, like I have my boys coming over and we're drinking, we're chilling. And I remember you probably don't know who this cat is, but like I had my boy, we used to call him Kilo. Mm-hmm. And we were sitting down talking shit and we're drinking on Four Loko. Remember them small fucking nasty ass drinks? Man, they dangerous, bro. We were all drinking Four Loko, and I remember my boy was like, man, that shit, I heard your house was haunted. I'm like, hell, this bitch is haunted. And he started saying, I don't believe in that shit, bro. I'm like, hey, I told him just like this, don't be careful what you say, bro, because that shit's gonna, start some shit in the house. So just, be careful.
That shit, I mean, I'll say it like this, like, every time I had a spiritual encounter, that shit happened to me when I was least expected.
Hey, check it. Right after he said that?
Like when I was least expected.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I wasn't even expecting it. Like don't get it twisted. Like the night before, I didn't watch no horror movies. I didn't do nothing. Yeah. I was just chilling.
I think that's because of not vulnerability, but you're you're most open. Like it can almost be like now. Imagine if we're just casual, right? Some weird shit happens.
Some shit happen.
Yeah, man.
That's like when it hits me. Like that's how it happened to me every time.
But yeah, and then my boy, so like my boys come over, and he's talking that shit. The cheese grater I had for some cheese. I was making some tacos,
Mm-hmm.
and the cheese grater gets thrown to the wall. Boom, from the kitchen to the wall, smack, bah. And everybody stand up like, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, I've been trying to tell y'all this bitch is haunted. Y'all don't want to listen to me. Matt was there too, and Matt seen a shadow of a shadow man standing in my hallway. So eventually, oh, I gotta tell you, before it starts getting crazy, then I had Fat Boy, my boy Fat Boy. He put his hands out the door, like like if we're all cooking out on the patio.
Mm-hmm.
So he, like if you're just chilling, you
He
grab,
just chilling. Yeah, he grabbing the door. Yeah.
So he throwing himself out talking shit. All of a sudden, the boy go flying forward, falls in front of us on the porch.
Like somebody pushed him out the door.
That boy's face was white. He Mexican. That boy face was white as shit, and he's like, I'm out of here. Fuck this house. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, we were kind of confused. He said, I felt a big ass hand push me out of the house. And then he left. Everybody left after that. I stayed there, and that's when all the doors started opening and shit. Like, it got worse and worse and worse. So my boy came over, him and his sister came over, and they're like, hey man, like, we thought about it. We don't want you staying here. We know that the house is haunted. We want you to come stay at our house or whatever. And I'm like, listen, man, I don't run from no challenges. And not even this is gonna run me out of my house. This is my house, regardless. I'll handle it. Like, I could deal with it. And the minute we were talking about that, his dashboard started, the lights were going down, and then all of a sudden turned back on, and then we hear his horn go beep, and then my front door, bam, slams wide, bro, like someone kicked that bitch, boom. And he said they looked at me and they're like, no, we gotta go. Come
Y'all was
on.
just like at the house still, like in the driveway, kicking it in the car type shit.
Yep. And then he said, bro, we gotta fucking go. Come on.
That bitch all outdoors with you.
Yes. It gets worse. So after that,
just keep in mind you were like 2-3 people that's witnessing this shit at the same time.
I think total like 10
people that's all witnessing this at the same time.
Yeah. And then him and his sister tripping. They're like, nah, we got, come on, bro. I'm like, hey, I gotta stay here. Something I've learned, man, as a kid, is that I don't run from challenges. And if my mind is set on something, like, I'm set. This is what I'm dealing with. I've put myself in this situation. Like, this house I moved in, it's haunted, but it's not running me out, because that's the test of faith, right?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
And then, so I go back in the house. This is where it gets crazy. The table, I had like a little table like that, like a little small, little weird ass old table. That bitch falls over. Then the knife on the countertop goes flying, bro, right into the wood. I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. I left the house. And during that time, I was going through some shit. So I turned myself in. I had a warrant for my arrest. So I was like, either I keep on running from this shit, my bills keep on getting fucked up. Like, I gotta find an out of this. So I called my mom up and I'm like, Mom, can you take my car after I get locked up? So we go and I turned myself in and I did 6 months. I remember when I went in, I did my 6 months. I got out and I went back to the rotunda. The lady was nice, but I was driving by and I'm like, yo, where's my place? It was knocked down. It's completely gone. So I asked the manager, I said, ma'am, she when she seen me, she was happy because I've always been cool. I always paid her, and I paid her, like, extra because she was always nice to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she says we had to knock it down. She's like, the next people that moved in, they said it was haunted, and we couldn't get anybody else to move in, so we had to knock it down. And I'm like, I was gonna tell y'all that, but I locked myself up. Like, I got myself locked up. You know what I mean? Like, I turned myself in. Man, that fucking trailer was something else, bro. But there's a rumor in Lansing, like, the north side of Lansing. Well, from what I know, from like the north side to the east side, I can't claim for the south, like, because I've never been out there like that. But there's a rumor stating that there is Native American burial areas in our area. So that's the reason why the activity of shadows and shit like that is well known. Because you're gonna hear a ton. I can give you a list of people that just say, "Yeah, I've seen a shadow in my house before."
Yeah.
And there's a lot of native shit going on.
Yeah, like even towards Grand Ledge, just a lot of old native stuff out there.
Yep.
If you know about that shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like the
Yep.
walls and stuff out there
Man.
in Grand Ledge.
But yeah, I've been through it, bro. I've been
Yeah.
through the ringer.
Yeah.
And I had to leave. I had this one. I had to leave. Like a lot of my shit after that, whatever I dealt with,
Mhm.
I owned it. Like I owned up to the responsibility of dealing with it, how to clean it. But this one, I couldn't. So I found out that the room, that back room, remember I told you where that door opened?
Mhm.
A guy killed himself in that house. He
Mhm.
overdosed. He shot up, overdosed. Never woke up. And that's when I realized I'm like,
Yeah.
you know?
At one point, I had moved into a house, and the landlord told me it was on the east side. The Lansing on the east, and it was pretty. It was nice. It was pretty big.
Out there near Dakin?
No, we're like on a like where the hospital area is, like the little like Sparrow and shit, like ducked off like behind there over there, like
Yeah.
Eureka on that side, on the other side a little
Yo.
bit, like kind of ducked off. And the owner of the house, he was like, "I'm gonna let y'all know right now, like we remodeled everything in there, but the guy that stayed here before, he was like in his like late 50s or some shit, and he was a serious hoarder and all this shit. And but we gutted everything, remodeled everything, but I was standing in the house, and he was like, there was a spot on the floor in the wood, and he was letting us know where he died at.
He said,
So we still got the house, you know what I'm saying?
throw a rug over that
I
bitch.
still got the house, right? But I was like, just thinking about that, like I just like walk over that spot all the time, like damn, that's crazy. So like I ain't started feeling shit until like I was there. It would just fuck with me when I was by myself in that house, yeah. But then it was a couple times where I was laying with my old lady at the time, and I remember she used to wear all these necklaces, right? And she had like beaded necklaces and shit. And one of them was, she had like a little rack that like hung off like a clip or a hanger thing like that, a hook thing. And she would hang all the jewelry on that. And it was like somebody was just taking the jewelry, right? The necklaces, and like just taking them and swinging them towards the wall.
Damn.
Like, fuck these necklaces.
What kind of necklaces were they?
It was just like just beads. It'd be like a gold link and then like some big old like pearl looking beads, or
gotcha.
big old like crystal beads or some shit. Like
Yeah.
she used to wear those type of necklaces. So it was like somebody was just taking them and just slamming them against the wall. And like we were sleeping when it happened. I woke up like, what the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? But like in the room, in our bedroom, it was a small ass little door. It was a little door in there. I'm talking about, it was a small door, and it was shaped like I don't know, like half an oval sitting up. And it was shaped like that, like one of them little bit like a gnome door or something.
Yeah, I seen them before.
And I opened it up or whatever, and it's just like a little closet or whatever, and it had all these old ass shoes in it, like from it was like Anne Frank's shoe collection or some shit.
For real?
Some old creepy ass old shoes, bro, like old leather shoes and shit, right? I ain't really touch them. I just went in there with the flashlight and looked at them. I didn't even touch that
Do
shit.
you think they belonged to old dude that killed himself?
They were just in there.
Damn. Yeah, that shit's interesting as fuck.
I didn't even remove them. Like we didn't even remove them. We locked that bitch back up and then hung a cross on the door.
Oh yeah.
Hung a
I wasn't fucking around with
hung
that
a rosary on the door. I wrapped that bitch up twice and hung it on the door. Like, y'all, whatever y'all got in there, y'all can keep it in there.
Right. What was the most intense thing that happened there?
I would have to just say, well, there was probably just the beads.
Just the beads.
Like just slamming it, like that was like the most, you know what I'm saying, that happened there for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
but mostly it was like I'd be like playing, so I'd be playing the game online or something, kicking it like on Grand Theft Auto or something, fucking around with the homies.
Yeah.
And like I hear somebody, like I feel like somebody behind me in that bitch all the time. Like it got to the point where I just stand up and play the game, like, and like walk, like, you know what I'm saying, I was angled to where I could watch my back type shit in that house.
Was it in the same fucking room where a dude killed himself?
It was like it was connected to that room. Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like I had the most. I think what I've had a few things thrown, which was the knife. But like I remember,
Oh, let me tell you,
yeah.
because I
Go
remember
ahead,
you
go ahead.
telling me. Like, I was with my oldest sister and this cat named Joe from the East Side. At the time, we was kicking it at my Aunt Angie's house. Man, my mom was upstairs sleeping, and my little brother, they were both upstairs sleeping. It was a hot ass summer night. Man, we sitting there just kicking it. Like we ain't even got the TV on, but we in the living room just kicking it on the couch, just sitting there chilling. Uh, my sister next to me, uh, and then Joe like right there on the couch just against this wall, like where you're sitting and shit. And like it was like a little table like this, but it was glass, and it had a nice little glass lamp on it and shit. And there was a stairway that went upstairs this way, like to my right. So I'm sitting on the arm of the couch, just kicking it with my sister. And like you know how you flip a coin,
Yeah,
like that sound it makes, like you know what I mean when you flip a coin. So I heard that like while we were talking, like I heard it like clear as day, and that bitch slammed on that glass next to me hard as hell.
did you see anything?
Like
You didn't see no
Like
quarter.
we seen it like coming out the air and hit the damn table and like flung everywhere and shit, like ricocheted everywhere, right? So we like, what the fuck? Like, so my sister, she not even thinking nothing, like she thinking my little brother, she like, that ain't nothing but the mind up there playing, you know what I'm saying? She thought my little brother was just throwing some shit at us playing.
Yeah.
But long story short, we hit all the lights and went up there. Him and my mom in there knocked the fuck out.
Oh damn.
So we just slowly get back downstairs or whatever, and it was like some folding chairs put up on the side of the house. Took them bitches and sat on the little grass part, like in the curb, and watched that. Was yelling up there for my mom at the top window.
Oh, y'all wasn't trying to go up there, were you?
Mama, yo, mama, wake up. So she look out the window, and the face don't even look like it's her, but it's her talking to us.
What?
Yeah. Like when she was looking at us, talking to us out the window, like all three of us, like Joe was like, "That's not your mom."
Man,
my sister was like, "That ain't mama."
Yeah, that'd be
and that motherfucker was looking at us, talking to us, but it didn't even look like my mama.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was like one of the craziest things that happened.
I've heard some shit like that before, where when somebody gets like possessed or like cause spirit can use people, right?
Yeah. But guess what? Like when I looked up about the coin being tossed and shit, what it means.
What it mean?
Spiritually, it means that's like a kid or something, like just trying to, or like a young, like an adolescent kid, like just playing a spirit kid just playing. Like they flick coins and they move objects and stuff like that. Like they'll run and knock your water off the table, or like throw coins at you and shit like that.
Have you ever
marbles and pebbles and stuff like that? Like like pebbles at your window. There's been people that had sightings of kids.
Oh, you remember the one where the kids
and like they'll stand outside like and throw pebbles at your window.
Remember where the kids pushing on the car? Remember that one?
Remember
that? You never heard about it? Where like there's a certain place where you go, if you drive your car and you put it on neutral, and right where I guess some kids died on the train track, and if you put powder on the back of your car,
you'll see their handprints.
They push it, your car moves.
What the fuck?
Up the hill, bro. It'll move up the hill past the train tracks, and you see little kids' hands on the car because I guess they don't want you to get hit or some shit.
And where is this at?
I'll find it and I'll look it up. I'll tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me look it up. Tell me another story real quick. Oh, my shit off.
That is crazy.
Bro, fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what pretty much happened. Like I looked into it because and I ain't looking into it till like a couple years later. I was like, what does it mean like if a spirit like throws a coin at you, like type shit? Just Googled it, type shit.
Right.
And there was all these spiritual people that are like really into it, like popped up and shit, like with different websites. And so I clicked on them and like this particular one was like, yeah, that means like it was like a definitely like an adolescent like spirit that was in that house, like just like toying around with y'all. Yep.
I've had some shit. I've had encounters with kids and shit, but I've never had Like the encounter that I had with the child was the one that when I was living in the house, that funeral home, and she would call my name all the time. And when she called my name, I turned around, I got tired of it. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. My mama made some green beans, corn, and I forgot what else it was. And I remember all the food got thrown on the floor. Oh man, everybody left. I was the only one in the house. And I remember telling myself, if I don't clean this shit up, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. So I started cleaning up the mess, bro. I was so fucking scared. But man, that shit had me on fucking toes.
Yeah, I'll tell you one. They said, like down south, I'll tell you what my grandmother used to tell me. Like, I guess, they had this house. It was haunted as fuck. They used to hear this couple like arguing, like faintly through the walls in the attic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they go up there. They'll like when they went up to the attic, like they wouldn't argue. No, like it'd just be quiet, but like it'd be like thick ass like cigar smoke in the air. Like you can smell cigar smoke right in the air still. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So one day like my great granddad had came home and like, they was arguing or some shit. The couple in the attic started arguing, so he went and grabbed his shotgun and just blew the hole and just started shooting the attic and shit, and like nothing happened ever again.
Bro, he
like as far as that.
He said,
but then like my mom had a story where they were in Shungaloo, Louisiana, and it was like Mo Tweed or somebody, like one of my like first aunts.
Yeah.
Told her, cause like back then they had outhouses and shit, and like the females a lot of time like in the middle of the night, way back then, they would just run outside and like just piss alongside a tree or something, wipe up and herb and get back in the house.
Damn.
Instead of walking, you know what I'm saying?
When was this?
This was this had to be like the early like 60s or something like that, cause yeah, my mom definitely like in her 60s, so about to be in her 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they told my mom not to piss on this tree. You know what I'm saying? That was in the yard and shit. They said, do not fuck with them chairs over there. Do not go in that area. And like, I guess he tried to come out. They came back from like clubbing and shit. It was out drinking and having fun. And like, they went alongside that tree and tried to piss before they went in the house. And I guess it was like a spirit, like a lady was running towards them with one of the chairs. What? And then like just disappeared in the chair, just like kind of like just flew and rolled on the line.
Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts. You've heard of OBEs, right?
Orbs?
No, OBEs, out of body experiences.
Yes.
I've had that happen to me. And one incident here in this house, as I was leaving my body, I stood up. I see my wife. No, I see my wife. I see my daughter, and I look out the door, and there's a woman standing at my door. And normally, when I see a spirit, I wait to see if they're gonna say something. She ran at me, bro. Like she come running at me. So I hurry up and hit my foot, hit my leg. I wake up, boom. I think 2 days later, I go back to bed, and I was gonna do it again because normally when I want to go through that experience, there's a way to do it. So I lay down and I just told myself like, all right, I'm gonna have an out of body experience, and I'm laying down. I had a pillow like this, so my arm was like this, and I'm sleeping on the pillow, and I felt my arm get tugged, and like I remember thinking like, man, is it that fucking bitch? Like I was out of it, bro. Like I was out of it, but I haven't seen her since, and I haven't done it since either.
Yeah, that's like some shit. That's like some shit they say you can mentally get stuck in.
That's a Insidious. Is that what it's that movie Insidious? It's just like that. I swear to God. Well, okay, you seen Insidious?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's another one. It's like the newest one that just came out where the dog was like he was like almost like sleepwalking.
Yep.
But like mentally, like in the mental, but like he was like tapping into another dimension.
Yep.
Mentally, yeah.
It's the same thing. For me, I don't feel like it's another dimension though. Like, okay, so when I go through that experience, I step out. I sit up and I look. I see myself. I stand up and I always tell myself, like, just walk around. Like, if it's night outside, no light, it's night, no light. If it's dark in the hallway, it's gonna be dark in the hallway. Like, there's no difference, right?
Yeah.
So I remember I walked down the stairs. I'm walking in the living room. I'm looking around. I kind of have fun with this shit. I'm looking around. I remember like touching the wall, the countertop. I'm like, man, this because it's been a long time since I've done this. The only thing I will say is there's no like weird shit how the movie makes it to where like you see a door out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
No, but what I will see is like I will if there's a spirit, I'm gonna see them. If there's a shadow, I'm gonna see it. If there's something demonic, I'm gonna see it. And the 2 times that I had put myself in that situation where I seen a shadow man, he's standing there. I remember when out there on the airport on Grand River.
Yeah.
And then and then
by Peckham and
by
all
Peck-
that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, everything over there.
There's that liquor store. There's that apartment right next to it. I used to live right there.
Yeah.
And
I used to be right there too.
For real?
Yeah.
And so like, did you know? Did you heard about the rumor where there's an apartment that's haunted? I don't know. There's one apartment that was haunted.
Really?
I happen to live in it.
Get the fuck out of here,
bro. I'll tell you the story in a minute, but hold on. And I remember like when I was in the apartment, I did it almost every day. You know how like you have Waverly, you have like the I don't know if you heard of like the AOG boys. They used to say like African original gangsters and shit.
Hell
That's
no,
what they used to call themselves. Hey,
I ain't never heard of that.
They used to be deep out there though. But listen. My boy was out there, and I used to always have him come over, like chill out, would drink, chill out, whatever. And one night he was about to get in a fight because he was hot headed, bro. Like you can't give him no liquor. He'll say like you just give him a job.
Pure bullshit.
One person say one wrong thing, it's on. I'm like, damn, bro, slow down. Like,
pure bullshit. Yeah.
So, anyways, he dip out. I remember that night I was ready to go to bed. I laid down, and I was in a peaceful state. So I'm like, boom. I wake back up. It's still nighttime. I'm like, oh shit. I look. I see myself. I'm like, okay, this is one of these. Mm-hmm. And I start walking to the hallway and into the living room, and I see outside because they have like the windows, and I see a young boy and a young little girl walking down the sidewalk. And then they look up at me, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I kind of backed up a little bit because I didn't want them to see me. Because I realized that they can see me.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, I need to be careful.
Yeah, it's real because you saying that's when you realize they can see you too.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so let me tell you mine when I saw it. I was in an apartment on the south side in Lansing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Waverly Park Apartments.
Yep.
A little 2-bedroom. Me, my little brother, my uncle stayed in. And it was like, he had some people over. Like his old lady had some people over. It was like New Year's Eve. Or it was New Year's. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. No, I went to sleep. Yeah. I went to sleep on New Year's Eve. Like, we just ate good and shit. Like, they cooked and shit. Like, I ain't had nothing to drink. I ain't smoked no trees or nothing. I just was like, fuck it. Like, I went and hooped. You know what I'm saying? Shot some basketball that day. Came back, ate some food. Like, we sat up, talked shit all night, and then I just went to sleep.
Wait, you're not talking about Mount Vernon?
No, I'm talking about Waverly Park Apartments.
Oh, way down there. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and shit. Like, I go to sleep. I was like facing towards the wall, sleeping, and then I got up. You know what I'm saying? So if this is the wall, like I got up and then like I turned my back towards it, and I had like a window that was right there, but it was like a street light pole out there, and it used to always like just beam that light through that window through my shades, whether they were closed or not.
Yeah.
So it just kind of created like a natural night light almost, and it was just like like my whole room had like a blue film to it, and like a cool feeling to it.
Yeah.
And I looked over in the corner of the room, and it's a little boy that looks like he's from like fucking Anne Frank or like fucking Titanic or something.
Oh hell!
I swear to God, like he had like a little cashmere type like trench coat like jacket on. He had like those rolled up type pants with like the long socks.
Yo.
And
Oh, so that's like
like some little raggedy, little old school, like handmade leather boots.
yo.
He was just real pale, and he had like, I could tell he was like a redhead kid because like the way the light was hitting his head, it kind of made it like a white blonde, but it was red still.
Yeah.
And like the way it was like,
What century was that?
there's a shadow. Like, I can only see like his nose and his mouth and his chin and his neck and like his clothes, all the way down to his toes. You know what I'm saying? But like his hair, and I was like, when I seen it, I had to double check. I literally took my hands and I went like this with my eyes, and I looked at it again. And that bitch was still standing there in the corner, but like this time it was looking at me.
Oh damn!
Like it was looking forward, but like this time it was like looking at me. When I spotted it, it was like standing there still looking forward. But then when I like wiped my eyes and looked at that bitch again, that bitch was like looking at me. But like I still couldn't see his eyes. I can just see like his nose, his face, and shit down.
You didn't ever try to talk to it?
Hell no! Like when it looked at me, I went like this because at this point I'm leaning out the bed like. When I double took, you know what I'm saying? I'm leaning out the bed and it's looking at me.
Yeah.
So I slowly went back like this, like, oh, this bitch about to run up on me. That's the first thing I thought, like, oh my God, this bitch about to run up on me. So I just like slowly like laid my head back. I just felt like a chill, like all the way down to my toes, bro.
Damn.
I was like, I felt the chill all the way down to my toes. And then like I looked over and that bitch wasn't there. I jumped up, turned the light on, woke my little brother up, woke up the whole house. Everybody that was there, everybody, I woke up everybody.
Yeah.
Dog, y'all would never believe it. I seen it, you know what I'm saying? I seen a little boy in the room, dog. They like, nigga, you ain't see shit in that, nigga. Cause you know they good and buzz. They been playing cards and shit, drinking. Nigga, take your ass back to bed. Right?
Oh shit, yeah.
So you wake up the next morning. My uncle's old lady's son was only like 2 or 3 years old at the time. He had bruises all the way on his thighs. Like there was like cheetah prints wrapped all the way around his legs, all the way down to his ankles. Just little spotted bruises everywhere.
Damn. Wait, did he ever say anything about?
No, he woke up screaming. That's what woke everybody up. That's what woke up my uncle's old lady's kids and shit out there that stayed.
Damn, bro.
That's what woke up everybody in the living room because the baby boy woke up screaming and he just had bruises all over his legs. I was like, I told y'all I seen some shit in this bitch.
Damn.
And they ain't believe me, dog. And like that motherfucker, like he made it a point to like go out with a bang, like y'all don't think I'm here, type shit. That's what I got out of it.
When you left the house?
No, that's what I got out of it. Like after I seen it, he was gone. I woke everybody up and I was telling them, and they was like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, like, why would I make this shit up? Like, I just seen that little bitch in the corner.
Yeah, buddy. Some of that shit, man. I've never, when I like normally with like little kids, if I see kids, thank God I haven't seen them bad.
But this was so crazy. Now this one solidifies this story though. I lose my house key. My uncle pissed as hell.
Yeah,
because he would get out of work after we got out of school and shit. We get out of like make it home like around 4:30. You know what I'm saying? And he'll make it home like around 5:30 sometime. So he like really wanted to just be on point with our house keys and keep track of them bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this particular time I had like misplaced mine somewhere and lost it or some shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go hoop until he damn near, you know what I'm saying, make it home, and then I walk back. So that's what we did. We walked back. And he walked over to the office with me to like, cause like back in the day, like you can just go to the office and get another copy made and shit. So we went over there.
Same house, right?
Yeah, Waverly Park. This was Waverly Park. So we went over there to the office, and he like, yeah, he kicking it with the lady, cause like they was always kicking and shit, like joking around and shit. And he's like, yeah. She like, what's going on with this one today? And he like, yeah, this motherfucker done lost his key, and you know what I mean, talking about he seen little boys in the house and all this shit. Yeah, you know, he just talking all type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the lady is like, well, what? And I started explaining what I seen to her, you know what I'm saying? And like how he was dressed all the way down to like how he was dressed and shit. And she was like, well, and she was a much older lady. She was like, she's ready to retire type shit. And she was just like, well, you know, back in the day, they said this was like a Civil War, like burial site or something.
Oh damn.
And like it was some kids like when Waverly and Jolly was like a dirt road back in the day.
Yep.
That like died from like a, you know what I'm saying, like a little
Yeah.
illness, and then like
I did hear
out
about
of
that.
respect to their family, like they buried them kids in there with the Civil War soldiers.
Damn.
So like them clothes he had on wasn't, you know, it was just like clothes, attire like people wore like around that time. That's what I was thinking. Cause like I done seen it happen. Like one time I was on the way to Florida and shit with Warhead. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just about to go down there, fucking around. We had took a van and shit, and they had took the shit like the one we got and had and shit or whatever. But long story short, we ended up getting it on the tow bed, and the tow truck driver, his name was Boom. I'll never forget him. He was cool as hell. He took us out to his house because he was like, "Man, I could take y'all up back to Michigan, but I got to eat some. I got to get a few things gathered around, and then we can get." So we like, all right, come on, whatever. We with it as long as we get back to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? We in Tennessee.
Damn.
We got stranded in Tennessee. So we go to behind his house. He pull up to his house, like a little nice little yellow house. It's a well kept and shit, but it's a little shack.
Yeah.
And we pull around back. He parked, you know what I'm saying, the truck with the van on it and shit. And we looking like this is a fucking grave site, nigga. Like he had like fucking like 50, 60 grave plots, like headstones in his backyard. He literally had like graveyard in his backyard.
For real?
No fenced. It wasn't fenced in or nothing.
His family?
Him and his family had dead. It wasn't his family.
Wait, what?
It was a burial site for Civil War soldiers.
I would have never bought that house. There ain't no way.
Hell no.
Ain't no way, bro.
Bro, we was talking about that shit all the way back. That shit is crazy.
No
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hell nah. Let me I'm gonna end it with my last story here.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot. Like there's probably more stories we can talk about on the next one.
Oh yeah. It goes down.
But remember when we were talking about you were talking about Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I didn't know at this time, like I didn't know that Lansing was a what's it called? Back in the slavery days when they used to it'd be like a safe haven, right? So like they would leave down south, come up north, and there was like safe places for them to stay at.
Yeah.
So that's what I found out, and I didn't believe it. I heard about it, but didn't really believe it. And
you saying like still to this day, like you can find those places?
Yes, like there's stories about it.
Yeah, I believe that
up here. You know what I mean? So I remember
there's a lot of stuff they still find with just like Harriet Tubman and Underground Railroad and shit.
Hell yeah.
I believe.
And then I literally at nighttime I used to have episodes where if I'm laying down, I'll hear somebody in my room. So I slept, I was in the basement, and I'll hear footsteps. And I had these episodes. Like it first started off with I'm sleeping, I wake up, and I see what felt like 100 people around me. I'll see Asian, white, black, everybody, like from
just like every ethnicity,
everybody.
Wow.
And they're all talking at one time. They're all saying their name. They're saying how they died. They're saying like they're just telling me everything all at once. And I didn't know how to handle it, so I was always afraid. And so I put the blanket over my head and I'm praying, God, please take this away. Please, God, take this away. And I remember another night where I hear a sound and I'm waking up like, oh man, like I already know once I'm waking up, bro, something's about to happen. And I shit you not, there was 4 Afro-Americans walking down my stairs with chains on them, walking down, like they locked together, right?
Yeah, like they were slaves there.
And walking into, I had like this weird ass, dark ass room. So like we had the Michigan basement, so it wasn't all done up, but it was enough for me to live in.
Oh, I forgot about Hill Street. I stayed over on Hill Street. Oh, yeah, I got some shit too.
Hold that one.
Go ahead.
So they walk into the room, and I was like, "What the fuck am I seeing?" And then like one thing led to another. And then one night my mom calls me because I'm having an anxiety attack. And sometimes when I was having an anxiety attack, I didn't realize it. Like it didn't dawn on me. I'm sleeping and having like night terrors. And so she'd be like, shut the fuck up. Whatever. And I was screaming and crying basically. And she went to open the door to tell me to shut the fuck up. And she seen a Civil War soldier standing in my basement. So she shut the door like, bah, didn't even fucking come and get me, bro. Like, just shut the door and dip. Well, she didn't tell me, right? But one night it was thundering outside, and I'm an artist. I love art.
Yeah.
I love art. I absolutely love it, but I don't do it enough.
Yep.
And I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. So I woke up, I'm hearing thunder and doom, doom. I hear the rain coming down, and I had this super overwhelming, like, emotional feeling came over me. Bro, I'm crying like a little bitch. Like, I'm crying like a straight bitch, man. If you would have seen me, like, dude, shut the fuck up. Why you crying, bro? Like, for real, stop. I was crying so hard, and I don't know, it was the weirdest thing. I grabbed my pencil, grabbed my pen, and I started drawing. And I remember, I think I might have it saved. I think I saved it in a picture or whatever. But it was a soldier, right? And
And this before she told you.
well, no, after, but she never told me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I mentioned it to her, and she's like, you want to know something crazy? When I heard you crying, I opened the door to tell you shut the fuck up, but I see this fucking Civil War guy wearing a hat with the bayonet on this gun. You know what I mean? Like, they had a knife. So that was that experience. But then I'm assuming because all the spirits were coming in and I've had this episode, it would be right before I go to bed, I would start hearing just like that. And I'm looking around like, bro, because I'm a character, right? So, like, even when I'm scared, I might say, like, God damn, like, who's breathing heavy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might say some shit. And I remember I turned around, like, I hear the breathing now. Remember upstairs I told you about that story?
Yeah.
Like, that breathing was the same thing. That same breathing was upstairs, but this was a different moment. So I didn't put those two together. So I hear the breathing, and then all of a sudden I hear, like, when somebody's walking but they dragging their fucking heavy ass feet. I hear it walking towards my bed. I'm looking, I don't see nothing, but I hear it so fucking clear. I'm like, fuck this shit. Blanket over my head. The minute the blanket goes over my head, I was on a futon bed. All of a sudden, the whole futon starts shaking. Like someone's trying to lift it up. Now the bed's just moving. Boom, 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 boom. Wouldn't stop shaking. Bro, I started crying like a bitch. Because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I used to tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, there's something in the basement. And she'd be like, that's because you're in the devil worshiping shit. Or maybe like she'd be on some bullshit. Like, that's because you listen to this fucking song, or that's because, whatever. And I'm thinking in my head, like, how the fuck? And I believed it for a second. So I'm thinking, man, I gotta change my life. But it never stopped, bro. It never stopped. And literally, I didn't understand why that shit was happening. But now I understand why. And why that hasn't happened again is because I learned to, because when you're gifted, right? Imagine with a cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a little cut. You can keep it clean and it's going to heal up pretty good. But when it's cut, it can get infected. If you don't keep it clean, a lot of germs come around and they can affect it. Yeah. And so being a sensitive person with spiritual stuff, that's an open wound. And if you don't know how to control it and learn how to deal with your surrounding, the energy or whatever, bad things will come in because they're like, hey, I see the light. I'm going to mess with it. Like, I'm going to torment it or whatever. It could be.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been to the point where I wasn't controlling myself.
Man, dude. But let me hear your story. We're in, real quick, we're in an hour and 38 minutes, which is dope.
Oh, shit. Well, I had one on Hill Street in Lansing, man. We should stay over there. Mm-hmm. Man, it was crazy. Off the strength, the first thing that happened to me was it was storming outside, just like you said. Mm-hmm. My pillow, like, we was younger, so we had bunk beds, me and my little brother. He slept on the top, I slept on the bottom. My pillow was closer to the window, but I used to always leave it cracked and shit, so like my big brother, he used to come around like, bro, let me in. I done left my key. He used to wake me up all times of night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All times of night. He running the streets and shit.
Yeah.
Let me in, bro. I done left my key and shit. I don't know where my key at. Let me in. So I would run all the way to the front, let him in and shit. Boop, boop. Go back and lay down. But this particular time, he ain't even come. It was storming outside, but like, It was like early in the morning, like 6, 7 in the morning, because it was before the sun was even out. It was just still blue as fuck, like that blue purple, and the clouds were like smoke gray, and it was like I seen like Bowser's like face in it, like something that looks like Bowser.
Yeah.
Like Bowser's face them, and I stared at it like it didn't even dawn on me to like take a picture of it.
You talking about Bowser off like
Mario?
Mario.
It was like it wasn't like a
dragon.
Like it was like his face, but it wasn't in color. It was just formed in the clouds almost. And I was looking at that shit like, what the fuck, like. And I never it never dawned on me to like take a picture of it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it never dawned on me to take a picture of it, but like I stared at that shit for like. It never dawned on me to wake nobody up or nothing. I just sat there and stared at it. Like I was mesmerized by it. But so that happened in that house. You know what I'm saying? I never even really. I told people like, man, I seen some crazy shit in the sky, and like everybody was just kind of like brush me off. You know what I'm saying? So I never really fucked with it. But some shit happened like to my big brother, baby mama in the back room. Like I remember she stormed out of there screaming because I think it was storming or some shit, and she saw like a shadow of a man standing like in the window. Damn. Like because they had a door. It was like hit my brother's room, like had a basement door right there. Or a door that led to the basement in the back yard.
Yeah.
So he can open this door, walk down the stairs to that land and go to the basement or to the.
That's kind of dope.
To the backyard, right?
Yeah.
So it was set up like that. And she says she saw somebody in like the window right there and got up and took off running. Damn. My sister used to go to church and sing. And she would go in my mom's room and just lay down and listen to gospel. And like just fall asleep, take a nap, listening to gospel and shit. And this particular day, it was just me, her, and my little brother there. And she came out the room storming out of there, bitch, crying and shit because something turned the radio to rock and roll and turned it on full blast.
Oh no way!
Yeah, turned it to rock and roll.
So maybe that spirit was there
and turned it on full blast. Yeah.
Oh damn!
Now the scariest shit I heard in the house was like the dryer. Like it was like something used to just beat up our washer and dryer down there. Like when it wasn't running or nothing. It was like somebody was just opening the doors and slamming them. And then like you would hear like high heels running off like. We had like one of those big old vents in the middle of the floor in the living room. You could hear everything in the basement. So I remember one day like it was like me, my little brother, and like 2, 3 homeboys just in the neighborhood. We went down the basement, Michigan basement. We moved like this little plywood over, and it's a big ass cave in the basement.
Damn.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And like, I literally walked like 8 feet off into it before I was like, nah, I'm not going.
How deep it go?
I don't know. I only walked 8 feet off into it.
Wait, you got your mama at least went in there to see what's in there, right?
She looked at the front of it and was like, cover that motherfucker back up. I ain't fucking with that.
Oh, that's some funny shit.
Yep. She started making us take the laundry down and everything after that shit.
It's crazy because Michigan got some really crazy ass fucking basements, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they really do. Like, at least from what I remember.
Well, I did some murals at Sexton High School, and the math teacher there was telling me, I was like, man, you ever see anything? Because like I was walking through the whole school, and I was like, damn, this bitch is, like, you know what I'm saying? It looks old. It like, damn, they're creepy how old it is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he like, yeah, man, like several teachers said they done been through some shit up in here. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, I got something real cool to show you though. So we go down to the boiler room, right? And then he takes me off in there. And then
who was he?
His name was like Mikkel.
Yeah, but like a teacher?
Yeah, a teacher. He was a math and science teacher there.
Damn, he just took you down there?
Yeah.
That's a boiler room?
A boiler room. He was like, I got something cool to show you. Because we was talking about spirits and shit. So he takes me down or whatever. And I go off in there and he opens these like double doors. He unlocks them or whatever and he opens them up and like plies them open.
Yeah.
And it's like an underground city.
Damn, bro, for real?
It was like street names and shit. I don't really remember the street names, but there was like stop signs and it was like curves and sidewalks and roads or whatever. There was no grass or nothing, but it was just like an underground city. And then and it fucking stretched for miles. Like I couldn't even I was looking down like, what the fuck?
That's crazy because
It was like come around the corner. We got on the sidewalk, walked the sidewalk and shit, jumped over the curb, looked around the corner, and it was streets and shit for days. So I'm like, what the fuck?
But that's back in the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, again, everybody that was watching, I appreciate you watching. We got a lot more stories that we want to talk about. And if you have any questions and you want to bring up some things that we had commented about with our stories, or just with our conversations, bring them up with with the comments, so I can bring up new little clips for you and stuff like that. So again, thank you for watching Rudy's podcast, and I appreciate it.
All right. Hold it down. Hold it down.
Mm-hmm.